Hey everyone, this is Jabez here from the Niles Main District Library. Welcome to my MakerFest video on podcasting. I hope this tutorial will be useful and I hope you get something out of it. So we're going to cover podcasting in a few different ways. I'm going to show you the equipment side, and then I'm going to also show you what software you can use to start to either record and edit your podcast. So let's first begin with the tools you'll need. Now, a lot of the tools I'm showing you are completely optional, but sometimes necessary when depending on what device that you use. So the first thing I'm going to show you is what's called a pop filter. Now, a pop filter is quite an optional tool for you, but a completely necessary one in case you want to record and for recording needs and also editing needs. Now, for this, a pop filter just eliminates all the S's and T sounds whenever you are recording your podcast. So whenever the T's and the S's, whenever you are talking, it kind of eliminates that whenever you're speaking to the microphone. So I would definitely say that this is a handy little tool whenever you are recording. Now, if you are a Niles card holder, all of these equipment is available in the library. So by all means, if you are available, if you're ready to begin recording, all these equipment tools are available in the library. So you just have to go to the lower level and just ask for these equipment. The second thing you'll need is what's called a Blue Yeti microphone. Now, it could be any microphone, just as long as it's USB connected. And lucky for us, it is connected to the USB. So this is a USB microphone. Now, with the Blue Yeti microphone, it's pretty good. You can just stand it in the middle of your computer and you can record yourself. Now, if you are talking with someone through Zoom or Skype or in this kind of setting, having it a, a few feet away from you, that's a perfect distance. Now, but if you are speaking with someone that's in the room, the Blue Yeti microphone also does the trick. So all you have to do is just space yourself between you and the person you're talking to, and it captures your input super well. But mind you, the more important thing about the Blue Yeti microphone is obviously the backside right here. This side is the gain, and this side is more of the pattern. You want to make sure you're following the pattern to make sure it correlates to what type of sound that you're recording. So for right now, it's more looking more like the chain area, and this chain area represents the diagonal scopes of the microphone. So it's getting sound from both sides of the microphone in case you are recording someone, you're recording yourself and the person you're talking to in the same room. And then also you will change the pattern depending on on what input you'll like to get it from the microphone. But I would say for a Blue Yeti microphone, I would say it's one of the most important tools for me. In the beginning of the podcast, I use this a lot. A Blue Yeti microphone is quite reasonable. You can probably find one of these for like maybe 75 or below, and even for the newer ones, 100, somewhere in the ballpark of $100. But I would definitely say a microphone is definitely worth it. But also, again, it's optional as well. Pop filter and the microphone are both available at the library, only for Niles card holders only. All right. Another optional thing you can use is headphones, and I'll show you how you can use your headphones during the software portion. But again, headphones will only really does is whenever you are recording yourself, you can hear the input of yourself talking with including yourself, and then also the person speaking. But sometimes for headphones, it eliminates more of the feedback or the echo whenever you are listening to the person you're speaking to. You can actually just hear it on your headphones. So again, headphones are available in the Niles Main District Library, but it's only for in-house. So again, microphone, Blue Yeti microphone, and pop filter are available at the Niles Main District Library for Niles card holders only. All right, so let's transition to some software that you can use to record and sometimes edit your podcast. So here we go. Now that we have discussed the equipment side that you'll need. Now let's just talk about the recording software and also editing software that you will need to make your podcast. In the beginning of the podcast for the library, we've used GarageBand. Now, GarageBand is only for Apple devices. So if you have a MacBook Pro, a MacBook Air, an iMac, or an iPad, or even Apple phone, you're able to use GarageBand and add and record your podcast just as normally. Now, if you do not have an Apple device, I can show you another software that you can use to record your podcast. So let's begin. I'm going to share my screen really quickly. Now, I have the older edition of GarageBand, so pardon me for all of the design if you are using it for the very first time as a newer edition. So I just have an older edition. So when you are creating a podcast on GarageBand and you open up a file, you want to make sure you start off with an empty project. Now, if you have an empty project, you're able to see this main screen. Do you want to use a software instrument, audio, and also a drummer? But for us, we're just going to use the microphone. All right, so click on microphone and then hit create. Now that now we have created a track and we're only capturing our voice, you can notice a couple of things. One, you see this volume button right here. This is capturing the volume that you're speaking to. So it could be either yourself or it could either be the person that you're speaking to within the same room that you're recording your podcast. Now, this volume section right here is super important because if it ever passes the yellow or the red, that means you have to lower your volume. So typically what I like to do is either put it lower or I will there's an option in GarageBand to have it auto filter the volume. So it can always stay in the green area. So, but since I have the older one, I like to decrease it down for just a bit. Another thing you can do is if you just right click on this little timer area, it will give you the beats and projects, but for recording purposes, you just want the time. All right, now it switches to the time. And just like any other recorder, obviously the red is to record, play button, pause, forward, and rewind. So if you just want to hit the record button, well, that's a good thing to notice. So you see this click right here, you want to make sure that it's unclicked. And you also want to make sure that this count in is off as well. So I'm glad I was able to show you that. So in the meantime, right now, as you can see that GarageBand is recording myself, and you can see the red waves right now that's recording it. Now, if you're done with your podcast or just recording your episode, just hit you can just click on the red button to stop recording and then also the play button. All right, so as you can see, I have a recorded track. And then now what I can do is let's just say that I'm done. All you get to do if, well, done for now, and you want to go back to add your podcast even more, just go to File and then hit Save. For us at the library, when we do our podcast, I'm very fortunate enough to have a producer and a good friend who helped me record, well, not record, but to add the podcast to have a more clean sound to it. So like adding more intro music and getting rid of any stuff that I don't want to include in the official podcast, I would say GarageBand is a great tool to get started with that. If you want to do this on your own without anybody, there's some really good resources and tutorials on how to add audio files in GarageBand. And let's just say that you're done and you want to finalize your project. You can do it. You can do this in a couple of ways. You can go to Share. You can always bring the song to iTunes. So what it will do in iTunes is it will give you an MP4 file of your podcast. It will immediately go to your iTunes player if you have iTunes on your computer or yeah, pretty much on your computer. I'm rambling at this point. So if you have iTunes on your computer, the track will immediately go to your iTunes player. It won't go to iTunes, like the downloading or at the Apple Store. rather, but it will just go to your iTunes library. But if you either take it to SoundCloud, once again, our podcast is distributed on SoundCloud, so you can also put it there. You'll just have to link your SoundCloud account within GarageBand. Now, if you are interested in spreading your podcast or the audio into different areas or different platforms of podcasting, what you can do is I would suggest you go to iTunes. And then usually in iTunes, you're able to just drag it into your desktop or even go to your music section, your music folder in your on your computer or your device. And usually your podcast recording will be in there and you are able to just share it there as well. All right. Well, that is GarageBand for right now. Let's go to another software for non-Apple users. All right, friends, this is the software we're going to use for non-Mac users. Now, you can still use this software if you're a Mac or any other computer usage that you may have. So let's get started. So the software we're going to use, and you can't believe it, that most of our podcasts that we have recorded since the pandemic has been through Zoom. Let me show you some skills to help you record podcasting on Zoom. Now for tutorial's sake, let's just show you what to do in the new meeting. Okay, you can see myself. It's connecting real quickly. So with that being said, now that I'm in Zoom, let's just show you how to record. So on the bottom of Zoom, which is right here next to the share screen, there's the record button. For me, I can record through my cloud on Zoom, but also I can record on my computer. So I'm just going to record on my computer. And now that recording option has changed to either stop recording or pause recording. And even on the top left corner, you can see yourself recording. So now that it's recording, you can have your own light conversation, so you can record your podcast there. Now, if you're saying you're done, you can obviously go back to the bottom where it says stop recording. You can hit stop. And as you can see, the red recording icon on the left-hand side, it's gone. And then when you're done with your Zoom meeting, just go to end and end meeting all. Now you will see that Zoom is converting your meeting and recording it into either MP3 or MP4. But for podcasting sakes, you want your audio to be a MP3. So just give it a few seconds. And here you go. So now where it says audio only MP4, that's your audio file. Now, if you are interested in making podcasting more video-based, you can use this Zoom MP4 file right here. So for 100% of the time, if you want your podcasting on audio, you will definitely use this file to share your podcasting. Now, don't forget, if you do want to have a clean sound of your podcasting, phone a friend or ask somebody that you know who's good at audio just to make your podcasting pretty. But other than that, that's how you will record your podcasting on Zoom. So that's all for me. You have all the tools and the resources to make your own podcast. These are not high-end equipment or tools. You can create your own podcast at your own pace. So don't be afraid to take risks. Don't be afraid to get outside your comfort zone, because podcasting is a wonderful experience. If you do need more help and more assistance, my email is in this video, probably underneath right there. And don't be afraid to reach out to us. Once again, have fun. Don't be afraid to try something new. And once again, happy podcasting.